Our planet faces a hidden threat. It is a threat so small that it is often invisible to the naked eye. These minuscule invaders are everywhere, yet we rarely notice them. This threat is microplastics, tiny particles of plastic that have infiltrated every corner of our planet. From the highest mountains to the deepest oceans, no place is untouched. They are in our oceans, our rivers, and even our food supply. These particles are so pervasive that they have been found in the most remote and pristine environments. Microplastics are a relatively recent discovery. Despite their small size, their impact is enormous and far-reaching. Scientists first began to notice these tiny particles in the 1970s. Back then, the focus was on larger pieces of plastic waste. However, it is only in recent years that we have begun to understand the true extent of microplastic pollution. Advanced technology has allowed us to detect these particles in places we never imagined. Microplastics come from a variety of sources. They originate from everyday items that we use and discard without a second thought. They break down from larger plastic products like bags and bottles. Over time, these items degrade into smaller and smaller pieces. They also shed from synthetic clothing and car tires. Every time we wash our clothes or drive our cars, tiny plastic fibers and particles are released into the environment. These tiny particles are easily transported by wind and water. They travel vast distances, crossing borders and ecosystems. They end up in rivers and oceans, where they are ingested by marine life. Fish, shellfish, and other sea creatures mistake these particles for food. But what is even more concerning is that microplastics are also making their way into our soil and our food. They contaminate the crops we grow and the water we drink, posing a significant risk to human health. Microplastics are a growing concern for our food supply. One major way they impact our food is by interfering with photosynthesis. This is the process by which plants convert sunlight into energy. Microplastics can block sunlight from reaching plant leaves. They can also get absorbed by the plant's roots. This disrupts the plant's ability to absorb water and nutrients. This disruption of photosynthesis is a serious problem. It means that plants are less able to grow and thrive. This can lead to reduced crop yields and lower quality food. Studies have already shown that microplastics can reduce crop yields. These tiny plastic particles, often invisible to the naked eye, infiltrate the soil and disrupt the natural growth processes of plants. They can block the roots from absorbing water and nutrients, leading to stunted growth and lower productivity. A recent study found that microplastics reduced the yield of wheat by 10%. This is a significant figure, considering wheat is a staple food for millions of people around the world. The presence of microplastics in the soil can interfere with the plant's ability to grow and develop properly. This may not seem like a lot, but it could have significant consequences for global food security. A 10% reduction in crop yields means less food on the shelves, which can lead to shortages and increased competition for available resources. Imagine a world where our farms produce 10% less food. This scenario would not only affect farmers' livelihoods, but also have a ripple effect on the entire food supply chain, from production to distribution. This would mean less food available for a growing global population. As the demand for food continues to rise, the supply would struggle to keep up, leading to potential crises in food availability. It could lead to higher food prices and increased food insecurity. When food becomes scarce, prices naturally go up, making it harder for people, especially those in vulnerable communities, to afford basic necessities, and the problem is only going to get worse. As more plastic waste accumulates in the environment, the concentration of microplastics in agricultural lands will continue to rise. As plastic production continues to increase, so too will the amount of microplastics in the environment. This ongoing pollution poses a serious threat to the sustainability of our food systems. This could lead to even greater reductions in crop yields in the future. If we do not take action to address this issue, the impact on agriculture and food security could be devastating. Section 4. A future of food insecurity? The impact of microplastics on food security is a major concern. Food security means having access to enough safe and nutritious food to live a healthy life. Microplastics threaten this security in several ways. Firstly, as mentioned before, they reduce crop yields. This means less food available for everyone. Secondly, microplastics can contaminate food, making it unsafe to eat. Lastly, the presence of microplastics in the food chain can lead to economic losses. This can affect farmers and food producers, potentially causing job losses and economic hardship. Section 5. A divided scientific community. While the threat of microplastics is real, there is still much that we don't know. The scientific community is divided on the severity and the immediate actions required to tackle this issue. Scientists are still working to understand the full impact of microplastics on human health and the environment. The complexity of the issue means that research is ongoing and evolving. Some experts argue that more research is needed before we can draw any firm conclusions. They emphasize the importance of thorough and comprehensive studies to avoid premature decisions. They point out that the levels of microplastics found in food are still relatively low. This data suggests that the immediate risk to human health might not be as severe as some fear. However, other experts argue that the precautionary principle should apply. They believe that waiting for conclusive evidence could result in irreversible damage. This means that we should take action to reduce microplastic pollution, even if we don't yet fully understand the risks. Proactive measures could prevent potential long-term harm. They argue that the potential consequences of inaction are too great to ignore. The debate continues, highlighting the need for balanced and informed decision-making in the face of uncertainty. Section 6. A global failure to act. Despite the growing evidence of the microplastic threat, global action has been slow. In December 2024, a UN treaty aimed at curbing plastic pollution failed. This was a major setback in the fight against plastic pollution. The failure of the treaty was largely due to opposition from oil-producing countries. These countries have a vested interest in continuing to produce plastic. Sadly, economic interests often overshadow environmental concerns. This lack of global action is deeply concerning. It highlights the challenges of addressing a global problem that requires international cooperation. Section 7. The time for change is now. The issue of microplastics is complex and multifaceted. There are no easy solutions. However, one thing is clear: we cannot afford to ignore this problem any longer. We need to act now to reduce our reliance on plastic. We need to invest in research to better understand the risks of microplastics. And we need to work together to find solutions to this global challenge. The future of our planet and our food supply depends on it. We must all do our part to reduce plastic use and protect our environment. Every small action counts.